I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double check was
Trying to take me out. Somebody just turned the ghost switch on these suckers and people are moving a lot faster. Something's going on, and I ain't ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, back again. Jumpin Offsides Network, Sweet 11 Studios, right here at Louisiana Downs, where excitement is always at the finish line. So, we are here tonight. We have a big time guest, along with the two co-hosts, John David Lyles and Mike Pearson. We have a star-studded show tonight, so we are ready for that. So, JD, talk to us a little bit.
Without further ado, we're going to introduce our special guest today. He was selected as the Mississippi Gatorade Player of the Year in 1987 while guiding the Pascagoula Panthers to a 14-0 record in the Mississippi Class 5A State Championship under legendary coach Bill Matthews. Elected to the initial class of the Pascagoula Sports Hall of Fame in 2015, played quarterback for the Florida Gators from 1990 to 1992 and was all SEC in each of the 3 seasons, was inducted into the University of Florida Athletic Hall of Fame in 2002, played in the NFL for 14 seasons with 6 different teams from 1993 to 2006. He is the co-host and co-producer of Pod Up with Matthews in the morning, and since 2022, he has been the full-time color analyst for Florida football on the Gator Radio Network alongside the voice of the Gators, Sean Kelly. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, former Florida QB and Gator legend, Mr. Shane Matthews.
What's up, guys?
Hello, hello.
You like that Tiger Woods interview?
I did. That was pretty
introduction.
Good. That was pretty good.
So, Chance, we talked about a little bit about last week. We've got Shane on. We'll talk a little bit about the Florida game, so we'll let you take the lead on that.
Yeah, we went up to Knoxville last week, and I don't know how I don't know what everybody else kind of thought. I thought we might hang in there in the game. I had us to cover. We did. I picked Tennessee to win, which I hate doing that, but that's the way it went. And so we're going to recap that game a lot because I've got 2 UF Hall of Famers here on the other end that want to talk about it. So I want to hear what they think.
I don't know if we want to talk about it, but we've been talking about it.
Right. Yeah. It's not as fresh as it was, though, when it happened. And I was fortunate enough. I listen to Shane's pod every morning and get a lot of insight from everything. So, Shane, not to talk and beat a dead horse like, you have to talk every day with people texting and the show and stuff and answering questions, but just kind of what you saw and then where we need to go from there. That's what I want to know.
Well, it was a disappointing loss. With Tennessee, I think they were 8th in the country at the time. I thought it was probably our best plan offensively and defensively since this staff has been there. Yeah. But we had a couple of calls, issues that cost us the football game. We forced the Nico kid to throw the football, and he has really struggled in SEC play against Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Florida throwing the football. And we know that their best thing that Tennessee does is run the football. We kind of shut that down for the most part. They got a couple of runs here and there. And then we made some plays. We had some good designs on some touchdown throws, but we had some critical 4th and inches, 4th and 1s, too many men on the field, those type of things that continue to happen. A game the Gators should have won, quite honestly. They were better than Tennessee. I'm not sure how good Tennessee is either, but some people, I think if you're in the majority of people who want Coach Napier gone, you probably don't want to win the game. You want to keep losing games to make sure, because they still say that there's a chance that he could save his job. I don't know if that's true or not, but we've dominated Tennessee the last 20-something years. We're beating them like 17 out of the last 20 years. And to kind of dominate them in their home ballpark, it was disappointing the way we played to lose the football game.
Mm-hmm. it's kind of been the recurring thing in Billy's short tenure of the just the critical errors of, 12 men on the field. Just the things like it drives people like Mike, and I don't want to speak out of turn, Mike, so you're more than welcome. But like as an old lineman, you're running the ball with success, and then you feel like let's keep pounding Montrell down their throat. But I've also listened to Shane enough that Tennessee had that blown up no matter what we did.
Well, they had the quarterback sneak blown up.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so the 4th and 1, or no, it's first down from the 1 yard line or half yard line. We go under center. We come out of the huddle, the sugar huddle, sprint to the ball, snap it quickly. But the O-line got blown up. And, people want to say, well, you should have put your 240-pound quarterback. Well, he wouldn't have scored either on that play. Tennessee won that play. The problem is Mertz fumbled the football. Right. If he doesn't fumble it, it's 2nd and 1 from the 1. We probably do eventually score. But back to the too many men on the field, too many duplicate numbers, those type of things that have been going on for 2 or 3 years. Those are the things that drive me crazy, being a coach's son and having coached a little bit myself. Because Mike will tell you, it falls on the head coach's shoulders, no question about that. But every assistant coach has a responsibility as well, And I just, with all the analysts and with all the assistant coaches we have on the sideline, I just don't know how this continues to happen. You got people sitting in the box with binoculars. Their primary role is to make sure we have 11 guys on the field, or we don't have 2 number 3s on the field. Right. I just don't know how those things continue to happen.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was texting the fellas during the game, and it was just same stupid mistakes time and time again. And to your point, Shane, fourth and 1, I didn't like the jet sweep. I just thought that was a little bit of a kind of a getting too cute. And then on the 1st and goal from the half-yard line, I don't mind the QB sneak call. Obviously Mertz, didn't handle it, but that crap at the end of the half, because again, it just keeps costing us points, and we all know that as much as we would like to think we're going to go out there and score 40 a game, we need every point we can get right now, and that all falls on Billy, and just I don't know who else he wants to either wear it, and maybe he is a big man, hey, I'll wear it, but I don't want to have the same thing keep happening over and over, and we just keep saying, well, we just got to coach it better. It's just not sitting well. And Coach, I told these guys when we were with Coach Spurrier at Todd Johnson's banquet earlier this summer, he made the statement, he's like, Mike, I just don't know if these guys hate losing like we did. And
right.
To me, it just keeps ringing true. Like, hey, man, it like for us, we absolutely, like, we loved winning, but my God, we were gut wrenched when we lost, and these guys just don't have that same mentality. I don't know how you make them have it or not. You either do or you don't.
Yeah, I think the way college football has changed, regardless if you're a coach or you're a player, you're going to get paid quite a bit of money, no matter what. And and that's the same case in the National Football League. But that's your job. I look at college football. Like some of your best friends that you still hang out with, you talk to daily, are your guys you lived in college with, right? You practice with. I played 14 years in the league. I probably keep in touch with maybe 2 guys a little bit here and there. But it's all my college buddies, that loyalty, going back for homecoming, for the reunions, those type of things. And you just don't see that in college athletics anymore because guys are bouncing around from school to school. You'll see some guys, playing their 4th year or a 4th different school. What diploma are they going to put on their office wall and where they can take their kids for homecoming? They got to decide.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier this week. We thought it would be a good subject line for you to kind of have an opinion on, but me and JD and Chance were talking about when you hear this buzzword culture and building a culture and getting kids to buy in, how you're up close and personal with it and have been for the last 3 years now. Is that nomenclature and ability to do that as a staff and as a coach, I don't want to say is it gone, or how do you develop that? Because just to your point, you could get a kid on his last team in the 4th year, and all he's trying to do is get enough film to play on Sunday? He could care less about playing for the orange and blue.
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I only go to a couple of practices here and there. Once the season starts, I get too busy. And as you know, you can go watch practice and you can't see anything. It's kind of the same routine every day. Yeah. But, I will say there have been some kids here that have come laid it on the line. And, I look at Graham Mertz, I bet he's going to consider himself a Gator over a Wisconsin Badger. He handles himself very well. Chimdike, who came from Wisconsin, is having a good year this year. We know what Ricky Pearsall did. I think Montrell's a transfer. I think he probably considers himself a Gator. We do have some guys. I will say this. Billy walked into a mess from a locker room standpoint. There were a lot of problems in there. He has cleaned that up. Now, that doesn't matter because if you're not winning games, who cares, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't know how these college athletes I don't like the transfer portal. I do not like NIL. I don't mind transferring one time maybe because in my position, only one guy can play. O-line, you can, if you're not the left tackle, maybe you can transfer or maybe you can work your way in as being the right tackle. You can find a way on the field. So, one time with no penalty, but these guys that are changing schools, Dylan Gabriel, DJU, Dylan's a good player. DJU's not, but but I still can't figure out what tape Florida State was watching. They obviously didn't watch him play at Clemson, and they didn't watch his Oregon State tape to pay him all that money. So, but anyway, it's just a different way of the world now, and we got to live with it.
Well, I watched the game. I watched it side by side. I watched the LSU screen, and I watched Florida. And I text Mike and Chance during the game, and I'm like, man, Florida should have been up 24-0 at halftime. Mm-hmm. Easily. They dominated Tennessee in the first half and come out in the second half. And, Tennessee made some adjustments, of course, but it was just like they kept letting them hang around and kept letting them hang around. And then before you know it, you're behind. And, it's the first time this year that I've been watching the games that I felt like Florida actually beat themselves. The other two games, they lost to two really good teams we didn't know at the time were good teams. Miami, and Texas A&M, and both of them are pretty solid right now. And even Tennessee's in the top 10. Do you feel like maybe we undersold them a little bit, or were the issues that we saw in the two losses, is that something that's going to continue for the rest of the year?
Well, I'll go back to the Miami and the Texas A&M game. We just got dominated. Clearly got dominated on offense, defense. Special teams was okay, but they were better than we were. I think their plans were better. Their execution was better. We just got our asses beat. Mississippi State is not a very good football team. We played pretty well there on the road. Who did we play after them? We came home and played UCF. Yeah. UCF, I kind of bought into the hype of them, how great they were rushing the football, but they hadn't played anybody. And Gus Malzahn needs to have a running quarterback. KJ Jefferson he can't run the football anymore, and he can't throw. So that's a bad combination as a quarterback, right? Yeah. So they ended up benching him last week. UCF's not a very good team. People don't like for me to say that because they say, well, just because we beat them, you don't think they're very good now. Well, they're not. My eyes told me they weren't very good.
Yeah, they didn't look very good.
I'm not sure how good Tennessee is because of the quarterback. Yeah. They did lose one of their star linebackers. He blew his ACL out early in the game against us. He's out for the year. I really thought their front four would give us problems, but we handled them for the most part. But Tennessee is going to have a long year if Nico can't complete the easy throws. I compared him on my show to Joe Milton. He's a guy that if you want to win a long ball contest, he's your first pick. But, his accuracy, his anticipation, he just stares at one receiver. It's not good. And he has not played well in 3 SEC games. So have we taken another step to get better? We may have, but we won't know about our defense, quite honestly, in my opinion, until we play LSU and Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. I think they got the two best offenses that we'll face all year.
Garrett Nussmeier is the best quarterback in the league.
I agree.
Yep.
What do you think about DJ? Because obviously stepping up there at the end of the game. I mean, to me that gave me some, I'll say, hope for tomorrow. I mean, I want it to happen now, but I mean, give us your kind of take and how he's maturing, progressing, and then fortunately, I think for us too, he's going to start playing now. So hopefully he's going to stay in the house and not jump ship on us. But what do you think with how he continues to progress and where he's going?
Well, he's very composed as a true freshman. He's been coached very well. I think his dad played in the pros for a little bit, so he's been around football his whole life. When I first saw DJ this summer at practice, I was like, this is Graham Mertz's team. I'm not sure DJ will play much because, I mean, I would watch him throw in practice, Mike, and I'll be like, man, we can't put him in the game. There's no way. But something is different. Danny was the same way. Coach Spurrier will tell you, Danny was not a very good practice player.
Rex was that way too.
Yeah, you put them in a real uniform with people in the stands, they play different. That's how DJ is, quite honestly. He threw an interception because he forced the ball down the field the other night, but that's going to happen. He'll learn. Just take the check down for 12 yards. Let's go to the next play. Yeah. But he is. People have asked me, the comparison between him and Anthony Richardson. I don't think it's even close, quite honestly. Mm-hmm. He's a much better thrower. His football IQ is really up there, and I think Graham Mertz has helped him a lot in that area. I think the future's bright with him. What I've liked about him is the times that he's run the football, for the most part, he's protected himself. Mm-hmm. He slides. There's nothing wrong with sliding. Even though you're 240 pounds, look, you're playing the most important position in football. Mm-hmm. We don't need you to try to run over somebody unless the game is on the line.
Agreed.
Protect yourself. But I think he's got a chance to be really, really good. And, we got some good skill guys. We're finally using the skill guys that I like a lot.
Yeah.
Just don't slide like the kid from Ohio State on fourth down.
Yeah.
Did you get to watch any other games, Shane, this weekend, or was it just totally about Florida?
No, I try to watch as many games as I can until our game kicks off, and then during breaks, we have a couple of monitors with other games going on in the booth that we'll check in. And I'm a college football junkie, so I try to watch as much as I can.
And then plus he's dealing with his ex-buddies sending him text, and he'll say, "Hey guys, I'm actually working. I am actually working right now. I'm not sitting with a beer and a chicken wing in my hand.
That's right.
Just throwing stuff at the TV."
Yeah, so. Big Mike likes to do a lot of complaining during the game.
He sure does, but I'm here for it. I like it.
So I've got a question. I've got a friend of mine that is from Florida that one of his real good friends is in the United States Marine Corps right now, Eric, and he wanted me to ask, and I'll ask all three of y'all this question. Do you feel like Florida wins 6 games this year? And if they do, does Billy keep his job? If not, who do you want to replace him?
Well, appreciate your buddy with his service, first of all.
Yeah.
6 games is going to be tough. Now, we probably could have got to 6 games. We would have won the other day. Because you look at it, I think Kentucky's beatable, but look, we have trouble against Kentucky.
We don't match up,
Stoops is a phenomenal defensive coach. I can't figure out why he's never had a good offense. The offense we're going to face this week may be one of the worst we've seen all year. We're better than FSU, but it's at their place, and who knows how that's going to work. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we can. I mean, I want us to get to 6, but I don't know if it can happen.
Listen, because Shane, correct me if I'm wrong, at the beginning, you thought we were maybe going to start 5-0 or 4-1.
I did. I did. I thought we'd go 8-4. Coach Spurrier picked us going 9-3. I thought we'd win our first 5 games, but obviously we got our asses handed to us in the first 2. So I was dumb. I drank the Kool-Aid.
I said at the beginning of the year, I had trouble finding 4 victories.
Yeah, you're right, Big Mike.
So I just, and I thought we had to at least sneak, a Tennessee like we had a chance, or, hell, maybe we sneak one out in Jacksonville just because, But finding 3 more wins, I don't see it. I mean, it's tough sledding. Other than FSU is maybe our really kind of most favorable game where we've got a maybe clear cut chance. So I don't see us going bowling. I don't see Billy making it out of middle of November.
My banker is Art Carmody, the great Art Carmody, and I was talking to him earlier. Well, it was about February, and I told him, I said 3-9. We're going 3-9 this year, and I just don't see it. And then I'll be damned. I went down to Gainesville and met Coach Napier and everybody, and I drank the Kool-Aid. I came back. I told him, we're 8-4. 8-4. We're going all the way.
Shane, I think he got a tattoo of Billy on his right ass cheek when he came back from that visit.
Billy. I mean, I do. I love Billy.
He's a good guy. I mean, you can't deny that.
But I totally drank it. And then at JD, we both went down for the Miami game and watched our defensive line just be absolutely horrific. Just stand up and look. And I was disgusted. I said, we're back to 3-9. and I'll be damned if we may not be right there. But here's my bold prediction. We're beating Georgia. We're stealing one from Georgia. Just hang with me. Stealing one from Georgia. We're beating Texas and Austin. And yes, and we're beating.
Chinks in the armor.
Write it on a rock and throw it through the window.
Yeah,
we are beating Ole Miss. We're
you drinking some serious Kool-Aid tonight.
Yeah, JD, make sure that coffee he said he was drinking, there's not a half or maybe 3/4 filled with Baileys or something else in there.
Shane, we're beating Ole Miss. I'm telling you, we're beating Ole Miss.
If Ole Miss loses to Florida,
I still want Kiffin. Lane. I'll still take him.
Hey, that's another thing we talked about, Shane, is I'm kind of happy that Lane has been losing because now maybe Ole Miss doesn't care if he leaves.
Well, I think people that listen to my show know that if there were to be a change, he's my guy. I just think he's the modern day Steve Spurrier. Has that cocky attitude, takes jabs at people through Twitter, not at the microphone like Coach did. Right. I think players want to play for him. I think players enjoy playing for him because he's kind of unique how Coach Spurrier was with us, Mike. I try to tell people, so many football programs are so buttoned up and, they have so many meetings and it wasn't like that with us. Mm-mm. And, if anybody ever really saw how Coach Spurrier coached his playbook, which was typing paper stapled together,
right.
It's nuts. And, I see clips of Lane and his team. They play softball after practice some days. They'll pick an offensive coach and a defensive coach, do a little one-on-one for like gassers and things like that. You got to make it fun because it's a grind, man. Football's hard. Yeah. And you got to make it fun.
Well, and I think him coming from a coaching family and having been around it so long, he understands it. And I think, to your point, I think he's the only guy that could come in and flip a roster to the positive side in that 4-month period that would be required.
I agree.
I'm not saying he's got to get us in the, SEC championship overnight, but I think he could get us back to where we're going to give some people some fits. And then in, say another year or so, it's going to be like, I don't want to go anywhere near that bag of hammers because he's got guys in the right spot. He's got players doing the right thing and they love playing.
Well, it instantly brings credibility to recruiting too.
Mm-hmm.
There's what I think last week or the week before, the number one player in the state of Florida, wide receiver, committed to where did he go? He's out of state somewhere. Not sure where he went.
Well, and I've heard some people that know him pretty well. I mean, he's made some statements that he thinks he could win a national championship if he comes back to Florida. I didn't say specifically Florida Gators, but in the state of Florida. And I think he knows this area well enough. He grew up in this Tampa area. So, listen, I'm with everybody else. I think Billy's a phenomenal person. But at the end of the day, it's not about effort. It's about performance. And I'm just a big believer that 2 5-7 seasons at $7 million a clip, me, Shane, and Cooper Carlisle could go do that for cheaper and probably not cost you as much and maybe win a couple extra games.
That's right. We're cheap and available.
That's right.
My buyout won't be bad either.
Well, let's move on to some other games. I know y'all, Shane, you probably get sick of talking about Florida every day of the week, but one of the bigger games this week that we saw, two really big games, LSU and Ole Miss. LSU trailed for most of the game. Nussmeier in the fourth quarter, had to convert 2 fourth down passes to keep the game alive, score a touchdown with 30-something seconds left and go to overtime and win it. What are your thoughts on how LSU's improving with a first-year quarterback?
Well, Garrett, I was actually, his dad was with me with the Bears for a cup of coffee at training camp. And then obviously he coached here for a little bit. So I knew Garrett. He lived here, I think, 2 years. He was a youngster, and they were grooming him to be a quarterback. But, what he does so well is like the average fan doesn't like him as a quarterback probably because he doesn't throw it 100 yards. He doesn't run over people. He is so smart, accurate with the football, and can anticipate. And he he's got playmakers now, and he throws a nice catchable ball, and he gives them a chance to make plays. So I'm not surprised at all. He played a little bit last year in some blowouts. He got to play in the SEC championship game. I think it was last year, or maybe that was 2 years ago. I can't remember, but not last year. Whenever LSU played Georgia, didn't they play?
2 years ago.
Yeah,
Kelly's first year. Yeah.
Yeah, he played in that game a little bit.
Second half. He had 300 yards passing in the second half, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, so he knows where to go with the football. And, look, LSU probably shouldn't have won the football game. If you look at Ole Miss, the 2 losses, Ole Miss, and you heard Lane in his press conferences, we didn't close them out. They dominated both games, but just didn't close the other team out. And, I think both of those teams are really good football teams. But LSU right now is undefeated in the league. And, they can control their destiny moving forward.
Yeah.
So what do you think about Alabama squeaking by South Carolina?
Surprised a little bit. What surprised me the most about Alabama is how much cover zero they've been playing defensively. They're giving up a lot of plays, and Alabama hardly ever plays cover zero. It's a big game for them this week. It's kind of a loser leave town type game between Alabama and Tennessee. I think Alabama's a lot better, though, regardless, because of the quarterback. Milroe didn't play great against South Carolina, but I'll take him over Nico, and I think Alabama beats Tennessee.
So when we look at the Red River rivalry, there's a few of us in the camp that even though both of these schools are SEC schools now, it still doesn't seem yet like an SEC game. It's the first year. Neither school has went through the gauntlet, and went through the whole league, which I think OU's got a lot tougher schedule this year than Texas. But, OU's their offense is bad. They're very bad.
I picked them to cover on that game. I knew Texas would win, but I thought that OU could but if you watch the first of that game, Oklahoma had their number, and Quinn was, like you said, rusty as hell.
I knew he would be
like a gate, but he struggled. But Venables, to his credit, had a defense that maintained them pretty well. But they don't have a quarterback on the campus up there in Norman,
which is crazy to think about how many Heisman winners they have to not be able to get past the 50-yard line half the time.
So I was wondering, did Gabriel know something? That's why he hauled ass, or why would you let him walk out your front door?
I don't
know.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I
maybe he just didn't want to play in the SEC. There's kids that say that. Lincoln Riley had a chance to coach here, and he hauled ass.
Yeah. I saw some of that game with you. OU's offense is just horrible, and I actually thought Sarkisian was going to make a quarterback change because Quinn Ewers did not look comfortable, and he looked like he was still hurt to me in the first half.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see the second half, but he was missing easy throws that he normally makes. And
he didn't do anything impressive the second half either, Shane. I was not.
Chance was there, by the way.
Just a ho-hum game. Texas did what they needed to do, and knowing that you knew exactly what they were doing on offense at Oklahoma, so they didn't have. I mean, just line up and go and 3 and outs. So.
Chance, we're
OUD played well, but they lived on the field, and as we all know, you cannot do that. So,
Shane, Chance is on the Jim Thorpe Award Foundation. So, Chance, was there anybody at the game you were watching, or you were kind of there to look at, or no?
No,
you just fan.
Purposes.
Okay.
I was looking for JC, Shane, but I never saw him. I'm sure he probably camped out at the hotel.
He didn't make it to the game for some reason. We like to give JC a lot of crap because JC travels. So I'm going to tell this story. He's gone to a couple Alabama, like not on campus, but like those neutral site games and stuff that they'll play like in Dallas and different places. And for whatever reason, he never makes it to the stadium. And he watched a couple of them at Applebee's. And so – it doesn't matter. Mike knows some of the guys that are on this text that I'm on with JC, and it doesn't matter where Alabama's playing. Somebody always texts. So JC how's Applebee's today?
Applebee's.
He's always eating good in the neighborhood.
That's right.
That's right. The boneless wings.
That's right.
So moving on, let's go to Georgia, Mississippi State. I was actually very shocked that Georgia allowed Mississippi State to score 31 points.
And I'm telling you right now, that's why Florida beats them in Jacksonville coming up. And I'm telling you.
JD, smell that coffee.
Georgia as a quarterback. ETN's he's gonna eat, but I'm telling you, it's gonna be much different than you think.
So I was definitely surprised because when I saw Mississippi State in person, I was like, this might be the worst SEC team I've seen in 25 years. And I'm serious. And so, they've done a good job coaching. Levy's done a really good job with the team. The following week after they played us, I think they went to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
They held the ball for almost 40 minutes in the game. They still lost like 38-12 or something. But they were just running the football, shortening the game. I don't know who Mississippi. I still don't think Mississippi State's going to win a game the rest of the year in the SEC.
UMass, right? They have them.
Yeah, they might be UMass.
Yeah. So let's talk about Vandy. They're the shock team of the whole country right now.
They should be undefeated.
I agree with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They lost 2 overtime games, 2 terrible losses.
So they've got Texas. I know they got Texas coming up. They've got LSU. I mean, look, if LSU loses this week and Texas A&M loses this week, we're talking about Texas versus Vanderbilt for first place in the league next week.
Wouldn't that be something?
Can you believe that?
Well, here's what I'll say about Vandy. I've said this since the season began when they started winning. I watched Diego Pavia play a little bit in New Mexico State on some of those like Wednesday night games they would have last year, and I was impressed with him. And I call him the poor man Tim Tebow.
Right.
Not a great thrower of the football. He still puts up numbers, but he's not a pure passer.
Yeah.
But you know what? He's got a will to win, and he finds ways to make plays, and his team believes in him.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Kind of like Tebow,
Yeah, 100%.
And he has that personality. And, they hired Jerry Kill to come over. I don't know if he's actually a coach or an analyst that brought Diego. And, they've been a great story. And I don't know what their record's going to end up. Like I said, I haven't looked at their schedule. But tip your hat to as Coach Spur used to call them, the commodes.
Well, 8-4 for them would be that'd be
a monumental victory.
Yeah, for sure.
Chance, 8-4 for us would be monumental too, big fella. So
we're 9-3, babe. We're going 9-3.
Yeah,
we're running the table.
Well,
I think JD beat us last week in all the pick'ems and points and all that.
Yeah, Mike didn't get to pick.
Well, I say us. Yeah, you got a mouse in your pocket again or something? What's
well,
going on here?
I actually lost my sheet, and so I had my.
Of course he did.
I had my numbers from.
Of course he did.
For 12 games worth,
And I'm going to go ahead and jump the gun, Shane, because these fellas are going to try to have you laugh tonight because I made not an error, but I was doing my pick'ems coming home from practice because JD said I got to have these in stat. So somehow or another, I can't remember who to win, but then I also picked the other team or the wrong team.
No, you picked South Carolina to win, Ole Miss to cover, and Ole Miss was favored.
Right? So,
yeah. He's not allowed anywhere near our money on gambling, Shane.
That's funny.
So we can get into this week's games a little bit.
Yeah, you're going to tell me what the games are because Big Mike sent me some crap on my phone and I couldn't download it.
Well,
that's a reoccurring theme tonight.
He doesn't know how to work Excel spreadsheets.
Mike can't use Excel. He's on Sheets, Google Sheets, or something. I don't know
what that was. He sent me
Apple numbers.
I'll just tell y'all, I've never heard of your podcast platform or what Mike sent me to do the picks.
Well, you can.
Well, you've heard of Jumpin Offsides right now, Shane, and that's all you need to know.
That's right.
Be a subscriber and check in with us.
I will have to do that for sure.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to show me how to do it, though.
Did Mike turn his video?
I hope so.
Hold on, I'll get you back on there. I was trying to pull that damn.
Don't worry about it. Don't mess anything. Don't touch anything. Don't do anything.
I'm
just play left tackle. That's all we need you to do.
Hey, just block that guy.
Block that guy, yeah.
Michael, how many coverages do you think Shane needs to know? 4. He's got to know.
He's got to know. Let him run you over like you're taking charge.
He's got to know 24 coverages. All you got to do is block that guy. Not that hard. True story, boys. Yeah. My freshman year, I'm sitting there. We're fixing to play, I don't know, South Carolina. And Shane has more stories than we all do because he still sees coach every week. And I'm playing fine as a freshman. I got nothing going on. Nope, nothing to see here. I'm not like making any mistakes. Nobody's getting killed, behind me. And all of a sudden, Michael, how many coverages do you think that Jesse's got to know? 6. 24. All you got to do is block that guy. Your job ain't that hard. So just don't make it hard. Yes, sir, Coach. I got you.
Speaking of, one of my favorite stories, and I remember them doing it when I played, but I know you had to be a part of it because you like to clown around like Cooper. But Cooper tells the story so well. Like, Coach Spurrier hated lightning. Did y'all ever do the fake lightning?
Oh, absolutely. You know who was the best at it? Was Deke Story.
Oh, I could see that for sure.
Deke Story could get Spurrier to get us into the O-Dome. And it would be, 98 degrees with, UV index of a 40. And Coach, get in. Y'all get in.
Yeah. Yeah. When all the linemen, y'all count to like 3 and everybody kind of jumped like
whoa! We'd all jump down and whoa! And start looking up. And Jamie, how close is that one?
That's hilarious.
Man,
all right, Florida State at Duke.
Are we just picking a winner? How's this game work?
Yeah. All right, so we'll pick a winner. You'll pick the team you want to cover and then the over and under. So Florida State at Duke. Florida State's 1-5. They're playing at Duke. Duke's a 3-point favorite. Over and under is 42.5.
I will go with the under, and I will take the Dukies
to cover and to win.
Oh yeah.
Okay. What'd you pick, Mike? You picked Duke in the under, correct?
Yes, sir.
I think I picked Duke in the under, and Chance went over. Duke in the over.
Hey, before we go, this segment of Parlay for Perfection brought to you by Bass Energy Services. Thank you, Bass Energy Services, for helping us out here with our Parlay for Perfection picks.
All right, so we're big game in the Big Ten. Nebraska, 5-1 Nebraska goes to number 16 Indiana, 6-0. Indiana's favored by 6.5. Over and under is 50.5.
Do I go first?
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay, I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take Nebraska to cover, but Indiana to win.
Good choice.
Mm.
Good choice. What did you get, Chance?
You have me on there.
Yep. Nebraska. You got Nebraska to win, Nebraska to cover, and
Heavy on
you
the
have
gas.
the under.
Mm.
Oh, I went under.
You went under.
Oh, wow. Under.
So I picked Indiana to win, Nebraska to cover, and the over. Which, judging by Nebraska's last few games, they haven't been putting up many points. But I just, you never know. Rules liable to break one out sooner or later.
Hey,
number 6, Miami.
Wait, hold on, quick, because I want a quick segue. Shane, what do you think about that head coach up at Indiana possibly being interviewed for our job? Because he's a SEC guy, who's Saban and a winner, and he said, "Google it, look me up, I'm a winner." So,
well, he did wonders at James Madison, and he's done wonders at Indiana right now. I think what people say, well, I think he's like 63, 64 years old.
Yeah.
okay.
Is he too old to hire at a place like? I mean, I don't think he's too old. I don't care how old you are. Let's win ball games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think he's a hell of a football coach.
Okay. All right. Enough said. Chance don't want it.
I don't like to win, obviously. The taste of me hating to lose more than I want to win, I don't even like to win, I don't guess, because we don't do much of it.
Number 6, Miami, 6-0 goes to Louisville. Louisville 4-2. Miami's favored by 5, over and under 59.5.
I'm going to go over. I'm going to go Louisville covers, and Louisville wins the game.
Yes.
I'm a Jeff Brom guy.
Me too.
He is,
I
too.
say it every
Every
week. I'm
Yep.
a Brom guy all the way.
So would you have Brom at Florida?
I would have him today.
It's funny because Coach Spur and I do a podcast during football season on every Tuesday with Steve Russell, and we've been doing it probably 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And this would have been maybe it was before Billy was hired. Coach Spur and I both were hoping we'd talk to Jeff Brom.
Right.
Yeah.
I talked to Art a lot. He and Jeff Brom are best friends, and he said Jeff will never leave Louisville. And
Well, that's his alma mater. It makes sense.
Right. I get it.
Yeah.
But he's a hell of a coach.
Yeah,
It's like Gundy at Oak State. He ain't never leaving Stillwater.
No.
He should.
So moving on to the Big Ten, number 24, Michigan, 4-2. 3.5 point favorite at number 22, Illinois. Illinois is 5-1. The over and under is 44.5.
I will go over, and I will take the Illini to win the game and to cover. Brett Bielema's done a tremendous job, in my opinion, there, but he doesn't coach like he used to. I don't know who his offensive coordinator is, but he got the quarterback transfer from Ole Miss, Luke Altmaier, Mississippi kid. And their offense is it's not a normal offense that Mike would like to play and, run power every freaking play.
That's the same way I went. I went Illinois over. Chance went Illinois under.
Yeah.
So, all right. So moving on, let's go to Kansas State and West Virginia. Number 17, Kansas State, 5-1. They're a 3-point favorite at West Virginia. 55.5 is the over and under.
I will go under. I'll take K-State to win and cover.
South Carolina at Oklahoma, traveling to Norman. OU is a 1.5 point favorite, over under 41.5.
Ooh, both these teams have trouble scoring.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I'll go under. OU wins. OU covers.
Ooh.
Chance picked South Carolina to win and cover in the over.
Yes, Derwin.
I picked OU to win and OU to cover, and I picked the over. Who do you got, Mike?
Well, because Chance won't let me cut my camera off, I believe I picked OU to win. I'm pretty sure I picked OU under or the under, and I'm not positive on the spread.
Did you pick the underdog to win and the favorite to cover?
You know what? I cannot wait to see you in person on that.
You're going to
LSU
get the
game.
farm hand and the ranch hand when I see you.
No, I'm putting the helmet on and the mouthpiece in, and I'm coming at you.
I love it.
We've already got the press credential pass.
Are y'all going to be at the LSU game?
Yes.
Yes, sir. We'll be there.
We can do Oklahoma right there in the damn O'Dome parking lot.
I can't
That's right.
wait. I can't hardly wait.
Buckle up.
Lot number 267, 71, you're on your ass that day.
Yeah. And right in front of old Art Mulkey's tailgating. Shane, you better come by this week because Art gets upset if you don't make an appearance.
Well, text me.
I will.
We will.
It's about 3:23 for all the sports fans out there. Just come by and get your cold one at Art Mulkey's tailgate.
That's right. I'll have the coffee ready.
Yeah.
The Fighting Hugh Freezes, 2-4 on the season, go to Columbia, Missouri, number 19 Missouri. And Missouri is a 4-point favorite, over and under 49.5.
Before you say anything, Shane, what do you think about Missouri? They're kind of quietly just, 4-1?
Yes.
I mean,
yeah, they ain't really played anybody, quite honestly.
Right.
A&M took them to the woodshed. Look, I think they're pretty good offensively, and they've always been pretty solid defensively. I'm going to pick Missouri to win and cover and go under because I just can't trust Auburn offensively at all.
Yeah.
what'd you do?
Well, I picked Auburn to win and Auburn to in the over. I just feel like eventually, I keep saying this every week, but I just feel like eventually Hugh Freeze is going to have a breakout game and he's going to show the offense that he's had. And Missouri is the team to do it against. I mean,
it's at
Missouri, but it's the weakest defense that they've played so far.
JD, you know the deal going to Missouri. That place is like a quagmire. It's all gray skies. That stadium sucks.
Yeah.
You should go ahead and erase
90
that.
yards
pal.
off of the field as a fan. It's just dead. I hate it.
Shane, you all, because we played there last year.
Yeah, I've been there actually twice.
That place is terrible.
It is. Now they've made some renovations and added to one of the end zones, but it's a small ballpark for sure.
Oh. Yeah. The only thing cool about that campus is whatever those column pillars that are in the middle.
When have you been? When did you go there?
I went there the first year we played them back in was that 2012 or
12
something. It was
over 13.
Yeah.
They're kind of like Auburn is kind of like Oklahoma though. They don't have a quarterback on the campus either, in my opinion.
No. And I was a big Hugh Freeze fan.
Me too.
Before he started, texting the wrong call girls. So
I can't worry about that.
Man. Come on, coach.
All right,
Get you a burner phone or something.
I hear you. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Number 7, Alabama, at number 11, Tennessee. I don't feel like the freshman QB is going to get it done. Alabama, like you said, Shane, running a lot of cover zero. They're going to have to change that. I feel like they'll run a lot of man this week. They're going to confuse the freshmen. I picked Alabama in the over. I think they're going to score a lot of points and score in bunches.
What is the line on this game?
The line on this game is 56.5.
No, the point spread.
The spread is Alabama favored by 3.
Yeah, I'm going to go Alabama over.
Yeah. Well,
all right.
Didn't I go under?
You went Bama in the under.
Yeah, I went under because I've seen Tennessee's offense the last 2 weeks have 0 points at the half.
Yeah.
And I think Bama's going to stalemate them enough they're not going to put up any big plays, especially in either the first half or didn't go flat in the second. And I think Bama in the under.
I think I went Tennessee in the under. I'm pretty sure.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's one of my upset alerts right there.
I would say so.
I listened to Shane's podcast.
Hey, quiet down 9-3. I'm gonna start calling you 9-3.
Well, I started 3-9 if it's any consolation.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's probably
on his podcast Monday, but I don't care about Tennessee. I don't care about Tennessee. So, stat for you: Tennessee has only beaten Alabama in consecutive years in Knoxville since 1990. In 1992, they've not won consecutive years in Knoxville. Alabama has beaten them every other year in Knoxville since '92, or at least, I think the first time they beat them, last time?
Yeah, they beat them.
The first time Tennessee's beat them in Knoxville since '92.
Bama will light up the
So-
world as far as cigars go after that.
They have owned.
Yep, they're going to smoke their
Knoxville.
what.
All right, Kentucky, 3-3, favored by 1.5 against your Gators in the Swamp.
That line moved today.
So it was Florida was favored when it opened at the first of the week by 0.5 point. It shifted to minus 1.5 for Kentucky.
Florida plus 1.5.
So
I'll take the Gators to win, Gators to cover, but I don't even know what the total is. It should be a low scoring game.
42.5.
Yeah.
That's basically a 21-21 game.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to score 20. I don't know if Kentucky can score 21.
Vandergriff can't hit me.
Yeah. Should be fun, though. It's homecoming, a lot of stuff going on. They're going to honor the 84 team,
84.
which is kind of cool because those guys, there's a lot of those guys that can't stand the University of Florida. I'll be interested to see who comes back.
Do you think
that
Neil
was the team that got
Anderson
put on
comes
probation,
back?
got Florida put on probation. Is that right?
Yeah.
Best team money can buy.
Do you think Neil Anderson comes back, Shane?
Well, Neil lives here. He lives in Gainesville, but I don't know.
Did you play with him in Chicago?
1 year, my rookie year was
That's what
Neil's
I
last
thought.
year in the league.
I'm a huge Bears fan. Have been since '85, so I remember you being.
Oh,
Who was your favorite Bears quarterback?
yeah. How about that? Since '85.
Oh, it's number 9.
Yeah,
It was number 9, just Shane Matthews, not Jim McMahon.
He started.
Shane,
sounds like JC. He likes all the teams that win.
Yeah.
85
Well,
Bears.
hey, so my whole life began in 1985 as far as the Lakers, the Royals, the Bears, and then everything else was wide open. And
they just all happened to win their world championships.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though.
Go
That's why I
figure.
started liking them. But, hey, I promise you, with all those teams outside the Lakers, I've had some pretty lean years. So
Especially the Royals. But Shane, I didn't know what's the hang up with those players?
It's that they've never been honored. The university stripped them of their titles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so
I didn't know that.
and it's a shame because they've had nobody to kind of support them. Like, at least Coach Spurrier, being the ambassador, his 90 team has been recognized, even though
Right.
we got stripped of the SEC title for something that not one person on the coach staff or the players had anything to do with. It was
Right.
something that happened like 5 years prior, but we were punished. But I don't know all the rules that were broken, but 84, that team had so many NFL players on it. It was
Oh, my gosh.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But they have those guys have a bitter taste in their mouth, and now being a 40-year anniversary, they're going to honor them. So I'm anxious to see who all shows up.
Yeah. I didn't know that, so I'm sad to hear
That's
that.
good.
was Wilbur Marshall on that team?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, there was, like
Yeah,
Shane
Gio.
said, I think there were probably
Well, they had-
15 NFL guys.
Yeah, I think somebody sent me something. There's more than that, Big Mike. It's probably like 20-something of them got drafted. What's crazy is they had 3 first-round running backs on that team.
Yeah.
Neal,
That's-
Lorenzo Hampton, and John L. Williams were all in the same backfield.
Wow.
oh.
John L.
Then-
went to
Then
Seattle.
you had Ricky Natil, first-round pick at wide receiver.
And Lomas Brown,
Lomas Brown. You had all those
Zimmer-
great linemen. Zimmerman.
Zimmerman.
Yeah, they were all on that team. And then on the defense, you had Wilbur. I don't know the defensive players that well. I think
Lewis Oliver.
no. Well, Lewis was a senior in '88 when I was a true freshman. So Lewis may have been on that team, but I don't know if he started. But
Okay.
Jarvis Williams was on that team. Gosh, I'd have to pull it up, but it was
That was
loaded
the best money.
with players. Loaded.
So what exactly was the probation about? I mean, I remember they had to forfeit all their games, or
Yeah, it was.
or
I think a lot of players
universities
got. I think a lot
did
of
it,
players
right?
got paid.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know
Which
if
it's perfectly
they
legal now.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
Sure. NIL before they had it.
Go back and sue for it.
Yeah.
So we got one more game on our slate to pick, but before we get into that, I've asked the question to Bo a couple of weeks ago. Shane, what's your favorite memory outside of the ones that most people know about playing for Florida? What's your favorite memory outside of the standard ones?
Oh man, that's I got a lot of good ones. Playing 3 years under Coach Spurrier, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for him giving me an opportunity. But obviously, his opener, he called a lot of crap naming me the starter, a guy who'd never taken a snap, who was buried on the depth chart. The boosters were not happy, and then we blow out Oklahoma State 50-7. But I would probably say, and then we won our first official title in '91, beating Kentucky, and then following it up 14-9 against Florida State. But the biggest game in Florida football history, and Coach Spurrier agrees with me, was his second game at Florida in 1990 at Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Because Florida had never won a championship and could never win, on the road. You got to win on the road in the SEC to win a title.
Yeah.
And we didn't play our best game there, but we found a way to win. And that kind of changed the whole mindset of the Florida football program. And I think the fan base probably said, oh, we got a chance to have something special here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I think my memory, too, is just his dominant 12 years as the head coach here. Mike can tell you that when you go to the NFL and you're in the locker rooms and you're talking so much crap to your teammates about your school and your wagers you got with them. And, it was fun. I love the University of Florida and a lot of good memories. And they haven't been great memories lately, but when I played, it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. This is our Rotag.
Yes, this is it.
So this is our Rotag portable toilet services no shit pick of the week right here, Shane. So we're going to make this one a good one. Mikey, we're going to get to hear what you think about this one. I want some deep dive analysts on this game right here, because this is the one we're going right on a rock and throw through the pay window.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Number 5, Georgia, 5-1, travels to Austin, Texas. Number 1, Texas, 6-0. Texas is favored by 5 points, and the over and under is 56.5.
I picked Georgia. I went with Georgia. Can't remember the others that I picked, but I know I picked Georgia to win. That was a right on the rock and throw it to the pay window for me.
My turn.
I want to say I picked the under. I freeze up there.
Georgia under. Yeah, you froze up.
Yeah.
My turn?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Take it over.
As much I hate it, I'm going to take the Georgia Bulldogs to win the game and cover and the game to go over. Texas, to me, is damn good. But I'm not sold Quinn Ewers is healthy.
Yeah.
I think Georgia did not play well last week. I think Kirby's jumped their ass all week.
Mm-hmm.
They know – now, they still could possibly get in the playoffs with 2 losses, which I think they could, because it'd be Alabama and Texas. But you can't take a chance here. And I just think they're going to be ready to play. And I don't know why I'm picking them, but I think he's going to solidify his defense, and Texas is going to have some issues. I'm going to take the Hairy Dogs to win it.
Who you got, Chance?
I like Uga in the under, and it kills my soul to say that. But I don't really like Georgia's quarterback to make a play. I know that they did against Bama, but I still don't think. But I like them in Texas against Texas. I think the defense is going to step up. However, if Little Manning comes in, it's a proven fact with a Kirby Smart defense, Saban defense, they do have trouble with mobile quarterbacks. So they could have trouble with Manning if he comes in, but I think it may be a little too late, and Georgia will have their number and ring the bell. So that's why I write it on a rock and throw it through the pay window.
Yeah, I went Georgia in the under also. Surely to God, we're not going to let Texas come in here and run the league the first year.
Right.
I mean,
I hope not.
please, somebody.
Yeah.
I've got to hear it at work all the time. Oh, Texas. It's like, Jesus. I don't know if I can handle that. So I'm pulling for Georgia. I'm like y'all, as bad as I hate to say it. I'm really hoping Georgia wins the game. So
The stars at night are big and bright.
Deep in the heart.
of Texas. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in tonight. That is our show. Thank you, Shane Matthews, for being with us. We really appreciate you, and you are now a friend of the show, and we would love to have you anytime you're available. Thank you.
Yep, and I'm going to have Mike show me how to follow the show on Saturday at the game.
Yep, thanks for being a part of it.
We'll get Melody to send you all the links and everything you need to do that. We won't leave that on Mike. But thank you so much, Mike. As always, thank you for being part of this show, making it better. Remember what I always say, strive for perfection and
settle for excellence.
Settle for excellence, right?
There we go, JD. Way to go.
Good job, JD. I didn't have to cuss you out.
That's right.
It only took him 6 weeks to remember that, Shane.
That's right. He's
That's
coachable
awesome.
after all.
That's awesome. Appreciate it, fellas.
Thank you.
I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double check is
It's going to take me out. Somebody just turned the ghost switch on these suckers and people are moving a lot faster. Something's going on, and I ain't ready.